Hi folks, Pastor Tony here. I hope you're having a wonderful week. We wanted to take a few moments today and talk to you about the reopening process for on-campus worship services at Grace Fellowship. Over the past several weeks, we've been working on our protocols and processes of getting back to on-campus worship. Well, the first question that everyone wants to know is, when is the day? What Sunday are we coming back? Unfortunately, I don't have a specific date to give you. The elders will meet next week. They'll discuss where things are, and we'll try to nail down a date next week. That will be our first Sunday back on campus. I can give you a range that may help a little bit. Late May, first part of June, probably. We also want to talk to you about what it's going to look like. You know, a few weeks ago, everybody was thinking, man, when we get back to church, it's going to be like Easter service, just full and crazy and wonderful. And it's going to be wonderful to see everyone. I think we're all coming to the realization when we get back to church, it's not going to look like that. And matter of fact, it's going to look a lot different. This is what church looked like at Grace Fellowship just 8-9 weeks ago. Well, to reopen, we have to follow the CDC guidelines. And one of the things that they require is that we have to social distance our sanctuary, which means our sanctuary will no longer have 420 something chairs. It's going to look like this. Yeah, that's a little stunning to see, right? That's about 150 chairs that we'll be able to get into our sanctuary for our worship service as we come back. Here's the good news. We do have the Grace Hall, which is our fellowship hall for those that are new to Grace Fellowship. And we're going to be able to set that up to have two environments where we can have online or on-campus worship experiences on Sunday morning. There are some other things that come along with the CDC recommendations and guidelines for churches to reopen, and these do impact us substantially. There will be no nursery available, and there will be no children's church or children's environments available for the foreseeable future. We do not know when we'll be able to reopen our nurseries or our children's church environments. The prevailing thought seems to be maybe late July, somewhere in August, probably when the schools begin to reopen and they figure out how to use social distance 5-year-olds. So no children's ministry, no nursery, which means that we invite your kids to come and be in the sanctuary with you and your family. However, we're going to continue our online ministry, which means we're going to continue our worship services online, our children's ministry online, small groups online, as well as our student ministry. So the online component of our worship right now will continue. Additionally, there will be no Sunday school that we'll be able to offer on campus. When we socially distance those rooms, actually we could only get 6 or 7 chairs in there at a time. Additionally, there's going to be limited restroom opportunity. As you know, we have hundreds of people that attend Grace. We have bathrooms that support that type of attendance on in normal times. We're only going to be able to allow a couple people in the bathroom at a time. They have to be cleaned continually, so there will be limited bathroom facilities. When you come into the church, we will now have to have a singular point of entry. You will be actually checked in. Ushers will take you to your seats in the sanctuary where you'll need to remain, and then once the service is over, you will then leave in a singular point of exit. It'll be a different one. Because in between the two services, CDC does require that we sanitize the sanctuary, which partly means we have to take out all the chairs that were in the 9 o'clock service and replace them with other chairs that are clean and sanitized for the 10:45 service. One of the things we're probably asking is, wait a minute, if there's only 150 chairs, Tony, and last time I was there was 400 people in the sanctuary, what are we going to do for that? How do you get there early and stand in line? Well, fortunately, you'll recall, if you've been with us for a little while, every Christmas Eve we do a sign-up, an online sign-up. And the only way for us to manage this at this point is to do the same online sign-up. So when we get the dates and we get everything together, we will put an online sign-up so that you can go online and let us know which service you would like to attend, the 9 o'clock or the 10:45, and how many will be coming with you. And once that service fills up, it does fill up. We may have to add an additional service, but let me caution us a little bit on that. most of the people you see on stage, most all the people that work in our media team, our broadcast media team, our ushers, they're all volunteers. And they give so much of their time and their talent just to help us have amazing experiences together. But we got to steward that. We can't do 5 or 6 services and just burn out all of our volunteers and even our staff. So we may add one more service depending on how that looks, but we will continue our online service so that people can be at home and they can worship and they can experience God's grace, even though we're managing through this new season. Let me give you a couple words for all of us. A couple weeks ago, or last week actually, I was in a Zoom pastors meeting with about 50 of the pastors here in Athens, Georgia, and it was a great meeting. We talked about all the challenges that all churches are facing trying to figure out how to reopen. David Mills, the pastor of the great church Beach Haven here in town, said this and I loved it. He said, you know guys, we need to remember we're all in the same storm, but we're all in different boats. And I just think, man, that's the mind of God right there. And what he was saying, for each church, what works for one church may not work best for another church. I want to bring that down to our local community of faith. We're all in the same storm, but we all have a different boat called our family that we've got to navigate this through. So I want you to hear me now as your pastor, especially senior adults and those that have underlying medical issues. Please don't rush back. It's just, there's no reward for getting back first. Let this thing settle down. We're gonna be here for you. We're not gonna question your commitment to your church, your love for your church, your support of the ministry, your love for none of those things. These are unprecedented times, and I want you to hear me say, you are free to make the right decision for you and your family. For our young families with kids, listen, Trish and I get that. If we had small kids right now, we would be navigating differently. We understand. And if you're not ready to come back to the campus right now, we get it. We understand. Please feel no pressure or anxiety, or again, that you're somehow letting down your family. All those things that the evil one would try to whisper into your ear. We reject that. If you were in the message last week, you heard me say a leadership principle that we engage at our church and in our family especially is wisdom leads and faith follows. Be wise in this. We celebrate the wisdom that God is giving you and your family in this season. Okay, one more thing, and this is really good news. I think it will encourage you today. We are going to be offering on May the 24th, it's Memorial Day weekend, Sunday night, May the 24th, a drive-in night of worship. And we're so excited about that. We are able to secure an FM receiver, so we'll be able to broadcast it, and you'll be able to tune into your radio there on campus. We believe the 24th Drive-In Night of Worship is going to be amazing. You'll hear more about that. So we're moving towards that, and the Lord's helping us. Now listen, we do need one more piece of information from you. At the bottom of this email that you received, or if you're watching this on social media, in our bios, you'll notice a survey. If you would take a few moments, there's just a few questions that we would ask you to fill out and help us understand where you are in this process as we begin to work through getting back together on campus at Grace Fellowship. That survey gives us some good information as to what to expect as we begin to move forward. If you would take a few moments and fill that out, we would deeply appreciate it. Well, again, thanks so much for taking a few moments to hear from me about the reopening process at Grace. We love you guys. We miss you dearly. We can't wait until we do get back, but we're going to do it with wisdom and prudence, and however that ends up rolling out, we'll give thanks to God. Listen, don't miss this Sunday, 9 o'clock, 10:45, online Mother's Day service. It's going to be a fantastic day. A few surprises along the way, and I think you'll be blessed. But until I see you again, my friends, be blessed. We'll see you soon.